two keys, the ignition key and the fuel cap's a different key. It's going to be a pain in the butt having to carry two keys, having flapping around when they're in the ignition. So I looked up on YouTube, and you can actually change the little tumblers around in them in pretty much any lock. So I thought I'll give it a go. I've already done this to make sure I could do it, because I wasn't sure. I'm going to quickly do it, show you how to do it. 1, 2, lift it off carefully. Don't need that bit. Six little springs. Keep that right. This little spacer. Little rubber seal in there. I've got to try and pick it out without messing it up too much. One little washer. You need to make it really thin. I doubt very much it's going to show up in it. One of the little tumblers, I call them tumblers, I don't know what their name is, stops the barrel coming out. You have to push it into the centre. You need something really small to really screwdriver it. I need the magnifying glass to do this the first time to be able to see it properly. Coming out now. And as you draw it out, make sure you don't, well, with the key in there, nothing should fall out. There we go. You can take this off, but there's a spring and a ball bearing behind it. Does the flap. It makes the flap spring loaded. So you carefully lift it off. Just a spring. Tiny. The ball has already dropped out. It's there. And this is the piece you was pushing inwards to get the barrel to release. There's little springs in each of these. That's what make these spring loaders. I'm going to leave that one in there. So I'll put my thumb on them because they're liable to ping everywhere as you take the key out. This one has got 4. I put the one I've modified, the key I want to use in there, and they're all flat. There's only one of them was wrong. Even moving them around to different positions, I couldn't get it to line up, so I filed it down. It was the 4th one. I'll take out. All I've done, just fold about 1/2 millimetre off the bottom of that little blade, just to show you the little spring that's in there. how tiny. There you go, so you can move them around to different positions. If there's one you can't get to line up, or two or whatever, just file them down so that when the key goes in they're all flat. And I just used a little bit of my favourite ACF 50 on them. Stop anything corroding. And hopefully I can put it back together. It's as simple as that. Now it works. It's just to reverse to put it back together again. Carefully doing the little spring and ball bearing. I think you want the flap shut to do this. Suzuki. 6 little springs. All 6 of them on a little O-ring. U-bracket. See, there's there and there, which is where these 2 prongs are going to go. And yes, I shall take these screws out again in a second and clean the rust and crap off of them. Just to show it working. Key in. There we go. So I now have 1 key to carry around and not 2. This is the lock for unlocking the passenger seat to get into the little cubby hole for keeping all your stuff. So now I've got my fuel cap keyed to work with the same key. This one I didn't even have a key that would fit it. And I thought I'm never going to be able to do this, but that little spring was in there. This was 2 little screws holding that on. So I've taken that off, taken a little spring out, I was jiggling, messing around, pushing on the back of the barrel here, and it just popped out, which is a total result. And looking at it, there's nothing holds it in place apart from this on the back. Stops the barrel coming through. So this is excellent news because it means I can do the same what I did to the petrol cap to this. And hopefully we can see. This is with the key in. See how this one is no way that pushed in. That one's a little bit proud as well, and both of them two standing out slightly. So this key is never going to work with it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 of the tumblers in this one. There's only 4 in the fuel cap, even though there was a slot for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to take them out in order. I'm going to call that on number 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't forget the little springs, because you're never going to find them if you're driving all over the floor. Reluctant to come out, there it is. What I'm going to do is go through them one at a time and see which one fits in which hole the best. So whatever happens, I'm going to have to do something with number 1. So I'm going to leave that one for now. This is going to be mega boring. I'm going to skip forward, I think. Right, I've done lots of different combinations of these and only 2 of them line up properly. Which is number 2 and number 3 are okay, or pretty damn close. There's 1 and 5 poke out a fair amount, and 4 pokes up a lot. These 2 are pretty close. So what I'm going to do now is file 1 and 5 and 4 a little bit. See how close I can get them. I don't see any reason why you couldn't just leave them out. It's not exactly high security, is it? Before I do that, I'm going to file both of them off. We'll do some filing now. Alright, it's finished. I've had to do 4 out of 5 needed filing in the end. One and 5 needed a millimetre or so taken off them. 2 needed just a fraction, and 4 I took just a bit off so that they're perfectly smooth on there now. I've tried it in the holder and it works fine, which is good. A bit of ACF 50 on there. It is painted. grease on the back here. That's where the spring and that linkage is going to sit. Never have too much copper grease. There's a hole in the bottom that the spring sits on. The tang of the spring goes in there. There's one little piece poking up there still. That's what this is going to go onto, so it's spring loaded. So spring loaded as well now. Maybe not the smoothest action in the world, getting the key out, but it does the job. That means one key doing the ignition, the fuel cap, and this passenger seat cubby hole box. I've just looked it up out of interest. This is £89.58 from Suzuki. That's just barking mad. A fuel cap, I don't know if this is a genuine one or not, but a genuine one of these from Suzuki is £144.43. An ignition lock is £89.58. So I think that kind of proves I'm spending, I've been out here for about 2.5 hours to do this, and I've saved get on for 400 quid that would have cost to buy them. I'm sure aftermarket you might get a fuel cap aftermarket. I'm not sure about the ignition barrel and this. So I think it kind of proves it's worth doing. And being tight ass, I'm over the moon.